Welcome to another episode of the Alamo City Sportscast with Mike Jimenez and Joe Garcia. Make sure to subscribe and hit that like button. Join the discussion as we broadcast live from beautiful West San Antonio. And remember to tip your hosts as it helps the show grow.
It's hump day here in San Antonio. My name is Mike Jimenez. That's Joe Garcia. This is the Alamo City Sportscast coming at you from the west side of San Antonio. We talk sports, pop culture, nostalgia. You know, around 10 a.m., Joe, it goes dark locally when it comes to sports talk radio, right?
It does, man.
Ticket 760, San Antonio Sports Star. They go to national. You can listen to Jim Rome if you want, right?
Yeah, you'll put you to sleep, man.
Exactly. Or you can hear about your Spurs here, your Cowboys, your Texans, your Longhorns, your Aggies. You can get it all right here because we do local content when it comes to it all. And we get a little bit Demon Mike-ish, a little Nesio from time to time. So we have a lot to get into today. We're going to have a special guest, Jeff Garcia from Locked On Spurs and Ken's 5. I told you earlier today, Joe, that I was going to post a video preview of the show at 9:30, 30 minutes before the show to get people amped up.
Coming out of the shower, man.
Oh, hey.
I was taking a shower and I see the phone ring and I'm like, what in the world?
Yeah, normally I call you around 9:50, right, to tell you I'm running late. But today I called you to tell you, it's like, hey, I'm going to go ahead and do this, kind of get some engagement going. We'll be talking about Jeremy Sochan, and Jeremy Sochan had a big game in the Spurs preseason loss yesterday, 120-117 to the Miami Heat. There was a brawl outside after the game there in the stands that we'll show as well. But Sochan is an interesting animal, Joe. And it's funny because I think people think that I'm coming around to Sochan.
We do have the apology form. Remember that?
Yes. And I don't know if it's an apology form because to me, there's something that sticks out when it comes to all this, because what I saw yesterday from Jeremy Sochan is exactly what I've been asking for the longest time. Why was he put in the position to fail at a point guard experiment? Why was he put in position to do certain things like shoot 6 3-point attempts per game? Why not just have him focus on what he does well? What got him to Baylor? What got him drafted number 9 overall in the draft into the lottery? Why not just focus on your strengths, right? And that's what they allowed him to do yesterday. And my question is it possible that Jeremy Sochan's going to have a breakout year, not because he's getting quote-unquote better, but because they're allowing him to do what he does well? Just focus on your strengths. We're going to have Jeff Garcia from Locked On Spurs and Ken's 5 on at about 10:15. We go for about an hour and a half on this show. We'll talk about the Spurs. The regular season starts next week. We're going to talk about the Cowboys a little bit. The Cowboys signed a new player, Joe. Played for the Brahmas. A former Brahma player now plays for the Dallas Cowboys. We'll get into that. The Houston Texans pulled off a trade this morning. Lots of moving and shaking going on when it comes to the NFL.
Yeah, not only that, Browns made a move as well.
Amari Cooper on the move. It's weird. Our good friend from Blogging the Boys, RJ Ochoa, was like, you do realize that Cleveland got more for Amari Cooper than the Cowboys did years down the road. Absolutely insane. We'll get into that. Some pop culture. I don't know if you saw Saturday Night Live over the weekend.
No, I did not.
Saturday Night Live over the weekend, Ariana Grande was the host, and she did a parody of Sabrina Carpenter's Espresso, and it has taken fire all over social media, TikTok, Instagram, Facebook. It's all over the place. Sabrina Carpenter is finally commenting on what happened and her impression of the parody. I cannot hear Espresso anymore without thinking of the parody. I think Ariana Grande killed that hit song because the parody was so damn good. ESPN released its top 50 NBA players. Okay, this is the rankings that they have every year going into the regular season. They released 11 through 50. We're going to go through that list, and we're going to see exactly where Victor Wembanyama is, or did he even make the list? He did make the list. But where is he on this top 50 list? We'll get into that. You mentioned that also, that we'll get into Wemby being a little bit animated on Sports Illustrated, talking about the work ethic of players in the NBA and how he's surprised by it all. Not pleasantly surprised, but he's kind of puzzled by it all. So we have a lot to talk about today. Again, Jeff Garcia from Locked On Spurs and Ken's 5 will be on in about 5 minutes to give his impressions on a lot of different things. Again, Jeremy Sochan, the breakout year to come, will be today's topic of discussion. Joe, We had breakfast tacos this morning.
Get some tacos.
Okay.
Man.
You know, here's the thing about tacos, man. Went to Las Palapas. I love Las Palapas. When I did my video to preview today's show, it was in the parking lot of Las Palapas. 2 tacos is not enough, Joe. The 3's too many.
Yeah, you gotta just with the 2 is good enough. You get 3, man, you're gonna be slow at work. Dude.
2 with chips, right?
There you go.
There you go. But I had a couple of tacos this morning. Had it on corn. You know,
okay,
that's the difference. I had a little bit on corn. Had a chorizo and egg on corn. But no, it's one of those things where I'm looking at it. I'm excited about where we are right now. We're 2 weeks away almost from Halloween. The weather's changing. It's going to be 78 degrees as a high here in San Antonio today. I know it's going to get up to the upper 80s next week, but as of right now, we are now in what's called second false fall. We had the first false fall a couple of weeks ago.
Yeah, and then it was hot as hell.
Hot as hell. Then it's second false fall, and then it's going to have one more heat wave, and then fall is officially here. By the way, you can be part of the show by leaving a comment like SCP-11 coming out of the gates. What was that one that he just posted there saying Sochan's a bust?
Yeah.
Saying Sochan is a bust, couldn't shoot in high school, college, or pros. He's a paint-clogging 7th man. Whoa.
Sounds like a Mike hot take.
Hot takes to be had. If you want to be part of the show, we're live right now on Facebook, YouTube, and on Twitter, but you can be part of the show by subscribing and liking us on YouTube and leaving a comment. The best comments kind of get posted on there, and it directs the show. Joe, what are some of the comments coming in so far?
They're talking about the breakfast tacos. It's saying it's all about the macho burrito.
Nice.
And Elias is saying potatoes, spam and eggs tacos, dude.
Spam is
nasty,
gross,
dude.
man.
It is gross, dude.
JHNSB coming out and saying STP-11. Not sure why people are impressed with Sochan making shots 2 inches away from the basket. Could barely catch a pass, too. Yeah, there were a couple of shots. I mean, Sochan yesterday, 9 of 13 shooting, 18 points. Could have been more, but there was a couple of breaks where he fumbled the ball out of bounds. You know, could have been an easy layup or an easy dunk. But all in all, Joe, you know, we talk about efficiency, Joe. What does .483 mean, Joe? When I talk about .483, I refer to Jeremy Sochan's what?
You're probably referring to what his
effective
field goal shooting.
Yes.
And you're talking about from the floor, or from beyond the arc.
Well, in totality.
In
totality. Jeremy Sochan is a bottom 15 percentile shooter in the NBA. We saw last year that his three-point shooting went from 24% as a rookie to 30% as a second-year player. His two-point shooting went down, and boom, he had an identical effective field goal shooting percentage of .483, which means there was no overall improvement. Improvement in some areas, regressed in other areas, it averaged out, right? He's a bottom 15 percentile shooter. If you are playing the position that Jeremy Sochan is at, you need to have an effective field goal shooting percentage of 55, 56%. That's where you need to be because you're playing down low. Yeah. Just give me putbacks. They're like whoever JHNSB saying, why should we be impressed by 2-inch putbacks? I'm highly impressed by 2-inch putbacks. That's what I want to see. Well, I want to see him tap the ball in. I want to see him dunk the ball. He took Tyler Herro to the hole and dunked it on his ass. I want to see that.
You know what? I want to see that putback dunk that Jimmy Butler had off of that rebound. Spurs just standing around doing nothing, not boxing out.
Yeah.
Butler just came and just slammed that sucker home, man.
Yeah.
That's what veterans do.
But exactly. Get the efficient 2-point bucket, man. Yeah. Because here's the thing. If you're going to be shooting threes at a 31% clip, by the way, Sochan, when he was shooting that 31% clip from three last year, was wide open the entire time because other teams dared him to shoot. You put a hand in his face, that 31% drops to 25% right away. Okay? But yesterday we saw a different type of player. We saw a different type of game. We saw Jeremy Sochan go out there and attack the bucket. We saw him clog the lane. And a lot of people were reaching out to me on social media yesterday, especially on Twitter, saying, well, Michael, isn't the lane going to be where Wemby's going to be hanging out? Why clog the lane? And it's called the front court for a reason. I don't like this basketball where there's 4 players on the three-point line and just one person down low. You need to have presence down low. And what we saw was that Sochan is a great second or third option when the point guard doesn't know what to do, right? When the point guard goes in and is trying to go for a layup. Oh, can't find him. Kick it back out. Not open. There's Jeremy right there. Do something. And what was he doing? He was attacking the rim. Attacking the rim much better than Zach Collins can. So as I mentioned in the video on Twitter to preview this show, if this is the Jeremy Sochan we're going to see, I am all on board because I like this. I like this version of Jeremy Sochan. If I can get this 18 and 11, 15 and 10, if I can get that on an efficient 10 buckets per game, I want it all day, every day.
Yeah, but you're probably going to wind up getting like 8 points a game, maybe 6 points a game. But the Jeremy Sochan that you saw right now shows that he's evolving a little bit. He's being asked to play a position now that's more natural to him, other than what Coach Pop was experimenting at point guard, putting him in other positions that weren't conducive to him being successful out on the court. You know, it didn't look like he was enjoying himself quite a bit, you know. Now it looks like he's having fun going out there and competing and doing what he needs to do, which is just do good at doing all the little things out there on the court. That's all he needs to do.
He articulated this during the point guard experiment.
Oh, he looked awful.
Jeremy says,
man.
I don't like this.
Yeah,
I don't feel confident with this. And so my question for you, Joe, is this. Who makes that decision?
You already know who makes that decision.
That is Pop's decision.
But
and what I don't want to see, Joe, sorry, I don't mean to interrupt. What I don't want to hear is Jeremy Sochan take a leap this season, year 3, because he's playing his natural position, going towards his strengths. The last thing I want to hear from Spurs fan is, that's the beauty and magic of Pop. That it was because Pop put him in that experiment at point guard. It's because Pop made him outside of his comfort zone and had him experiment at 3. That's the reason why Jeremy's playing so well. That is stupid. Play to your position. Play to what is natural to you. Right?
Yeah.
And we're going to hear that from Spurs fans, Spurs and Pop apologists out there, that they're going to say that Sochan's going to go out there and have a breakout year. And it's going to be like, well, it's because of Pop. It's because of Pop's coaching. No, he's finally playing where he's supposed to be playing. He's finally playing a natural position. He's a power forward who likes to play defense. He likes to go after loose balls. He likes to attack the bucket. That's what he's good at. You know what he's not good at? Shooting threes. You know what he's not good at? Bringing the ball up the court. You know what he's not good at? Starting the offense. You know what he's not good at? Being point.
Yeah.
He is playing well in this preseason because they're asking him to do things that, guess what, he likes to do. That he likes to do. Who would have thought? Who would have thought? Isn't that common sense? Why was he being experimented elsewhere?
Well, the problem with him being experimented elsewhere is that Wemby and his rookie year wanting to come out, you know, start over here with the San Antonio Spurs, he didn't want to play center position, right?
Right.
He didn't want to play the center. And Coach Pop is like, F it. Well, you don't want to play center. We're going to put Jeremy at point. Let's do it. You know, I mean, but he's the coach. I understand that he wanted to let, you know, Wembanyama figure things out and be like, you know what? I do play better when I'm at the center position, you know? So he figured some things out. Kid got comfortable out there, you know, and I understand you want to kind of let him figure things out, go out there, experiment with and all that. But I mean, at the end of the day, Spurs fan was not happy with the way the year started, you know, especially with Jeremy at the point. I mean, you could tell it was not going to work.
Right.
He just didn't look good out there. And that is on Pop. I mean, but Pop was just being cute with the lineup because, you know, Wembanyama didn't want to play center. So he's just like, F it, dude.
Matt Larimer reaches out to us and says, Jeremy needed to hit some threes. We made 4 more shots and lost by 3. If Jeremy had attempted threes, we would have lost by 8. Okay, that's the thing. Now, I like this comment right here because it's something that we're going to hear from a lot of Spurs fans, from Isaiah Aguilar. Thank you for listening. Thank you for being part of the show. Says, can you not see the improvement in his playmaking and vision after that experiment, though? The season was never about winning, so you might as well develop some other skills. I 100% disagree, Isaiah, and I'm going to disagree respectfully because he's not facilitating plays anymore. He's not doing playmaking. He's not doing vision. He's the receiver of the pass, not the person setting the pass out. Okay? He's on the other end doing what he normally did at Baylor, what he normally did in his regular thing. It'd be one thing if he was running the break and finding an open man. What we saw last night was Jeremy Sochan finishing plays, right? He did not facilitate them, had nothing to do with his vision. It had everything to do with the vision of Chris Paul, the vision of Malachi Branham, the vision of Stephon Castle. It was the vision of other people's that developed, that got him the ball in position to make the bucket.
Look at Taco Tuesday. Can you imagine Timmy at point guard? Jeez, bro. Let me go ahead and get in touch with our boy Jeff Garcia.
The Spurs season starts on the 24th, so it's going to be a week from tomorrow. They take on the Dallas Mavericks. They have a couple of home games against the Houston Rockets. I'm excited about this season. We're going to have Jeff Garcia on because Jeff Garcia from Locked On Spurs and Ken's 5 was already saying on Twitter today that I'm going to get cooked. Because this sounds like a flip-flop, right? Is that what we're talking about here? Is that why I was getting the chancla emojis earlier today? Is that what that was? I thought it was because people were throwing the chancla at me, but people are saying that I'm being flip-flopper about this. But no, I have said from the get-go, this is the type of Jeremy Sochan play that I want to see. Why not have him play down low, right? I want to see him do this. I want to see him shoot 6 or 10 every night, 5 of 9, 8 of 13. And I wanted to be kind of like Bam Adebayo. We saw Bam Adebayo yesterday, right? Bam Adebayo has such a high effective field goal shooting percentage. You know why, Joe? Because he doesn't shoot beyond 10 feet. He's out there just laying the ball back in. He's out there getting putbacks, finishing drives, getting dunks. That's what I want to see.
You know, we do have our guest on ready to go, man. So
we
that's
have
the one and only
Moneybags, Jeff Garcia, the godfather of Spurs media here in San Antonio. What's going on,
Let's
Jeff?
bring him on first.
Here comes the money.
What's up?
Money talk. Here comes the money.
We're doing your intro music.
Oh, of course you're right.
Dollar, dollar. Dollar, dollar.
Let me guess, dollars are falling down.
Yeah, they are. Dollars, you're making it rain today, Jeff.
Dollar bills, y'all. Now, who was making it rain last night was Jeremy Sochan. Not from distance, Jeff Garcia. We saw Jeremy Sochan making bucket after bucket after bucket from within 2 inches, from within 2 feet. I loved me some Jeremy Sochan last night from 2 feet from the bucket. This a flip-flop, Jeff? What do you think?
A little bit. You went from totally hating on him to now finding ways to like him. So, but nevertheless, yeah, he played good yesterday. By the way, everybody, sorry if I sound a little congested. I got cold. I'm catching a cold right now, so not good times right now. Yeah, I know. But no, Sochan looked pretty good. He's been looking good throughout the preseason. And yeah, Jimenez, we were playing with you last night, regarding Sochan and you bagging on him. But, there is a point to what you're saying is play to the strengths. And his strengths is not point guard, is not center, is kind of playing that small forward, irritant, cleaning up the glass, doing the dirty work. And I think you're going to see a lot of that out of him this upcoming season.
Talking to Jeff Garcia from Locked On Spurs and Ken's 5. You can follow him on all the social medias at Jeff G Spurs Zone. Looking at Sochan's stat line yesterday, 11 rebounds was also just as impressive because if you are going for shot attempts from 2 feet from the bucket, guess what? You're also near the bucket for a rebound.
Yeah.
It's almost like the rebounding fed the points and the points fed the rebounding. It was perfect symmetry there for Jeremy Sochan. Is this the leap that we're going to see from Jeremy Sochan this year? And do you see this more and more, or do you think that now he's going to go out there, get the 5 or 6 3-point attempts per game that he was normally getting last season?
No, you're gonna see definitely a nice jump from him statistically on both ends of the court. Again, he's not going to be playing point guard spot. Yay, way to go! Smart move, Pop. Should have done that last season. Never put him in that position. Now he's going to be at his natural position. And look, this is not a surprise. We saw how well he played towards the end of last season. Once they removed him from the point guard spot, he shook off some of that rust, some of that stink from playing the point guard spot, and he started rounding back into what we all know what he would be. And just forget, we forget he's a top 10 player. He's a top 10 draft pick. So he's going to produce like a top 10 draft pick, I believe, this season. They got point guard depth. Obviously, Wemby's there. You got Ingram there. We're forgetting that matchup. That pairing, Ingram and Barnes. I think Ingram is exactly what Sohan should look to as far as becoming a player. I don't think he'll ever get to Ingram level, but if he can just adapt somewhat of a mid-range game. I'm not asking him to connect from deep. I'm not asking him to connect just within the 3-point line. Just give me something. Can you imagine if he just gets a little pop shot and then he runs the pick and roll with Wemby? I mean, that'll be awesome.
You know, I'm looking at Sohan's play right now, and what he brings to the team defensively, I have described him as the third best defensive player on the team, right? Jeremy Sochan has had some moments where he's locked down Luka Doncic. He's also had some moments where Luka Doncic has burned him, right?
Well, he burns everybody, man. Let's be fair.
True. To be fair, I'm kind of short on calling Sochan a lockdown defender. I think that he's whatever one step is below that. He's an above average defender who potentially is getting better. There are a lot of people who reached out to me yesterday who were saying, you know, it's kind of difficult for Sochan to be down low with Wemby. Do you think that clogs things up too much down low if you have both of those guys down there trying to do their thing together?
That goes back to what I was saying. Just if he could just open up his game with a little pop shot, I think that'll be great and earn him more minutes. Look, if Wemby's happy, you're going to have job security. And if you're a good player that can pair with him, you're going to have job security in San Antonio. So I think he needs to focus on that. Clogging it up? No, I don't think so. You know, as long as, you know, it just depends on pairings. You know, you don't want him and Collins out there, you know, as being your primary offensive weapons. I mean, I don't think that's going to work. But hey, I think the Spurs team is balanced enough where Sochan won't be in that situation.
Yeah, we got a comment coming in here, and this comment was saying that Sochan just needs to focus more on being more consistent. Too much up and down last year because he was not a consistent player, and I think that's probably what's been plaguing him. And you know, the faction of Spurs fans, should I say, that's been frustrated with Jeremy Sochan and his play out there on the court because they're not looking at the other things that he does so well out there, including one Michael Jimenez here, is his consistent play. You know, he's kind of been a little bit inconsistent. Coach Pop wanted to experiment with him at the point guard position. That didn't really pan out too well last season. Now that they have depth, as you're stating, at the point guard position, now he can go ahead and play more of his natural position, which is to do the dirty work down there, get rebounds, and if he can go ahead and put up a couple buckets every game, so be it. But if you can get, I'd say, at least 8 points out of Sochan every single game and get him to go ahead and get double digits in rebounds, 11, 12 rebounds, hand out a couple assists, and go out there and set screens, picks, get the 50-50 balls, go out and play defense and kind of wreak havoc and just, like you said, be a pest. That's where he's going to be his best, I think.
What I want to see more. I want to see a 14-9, 14-10 kind of guy.
Be him though. That's what you want.
You know, there's going to be a lot of weapons on the Spurs side of things once Vassell comes back, and I think Sochan could take advantage of that. You know, attention's going to be given to Wemby, and after that, it's going to be either Vassell or Keldon. Then after that, it's going to be Chris Paul. So I think this is where Sochan could shine with so many decoys, where he can get loose for easy buckets, where he can clean up glass, clear the glass up, and say Wemby takes a shot and he's double teamed. You know, where he can free up and be ready for Chris Paul's passes. So I think the team around him suits Sochan to become an effective player.
Yeah, we've mentioned this before, Jeff, that Sochan is, to me, I look at Sochan like Derek White, in the sense that he doesn't make a bad team better, but he makes a good team great. He feeds off the talent around him. You know, that's the thing. He's not the talent. He feeds off the talent. And he can look very, very, very good doing it. David Outwater making fun of Collins again, saying that Collins was Butterfingers last night.
Booty crumbs.
And that Sochan also had Butterfingers.
Hey, Chris Paul was just Butterfingers as well, too. He had the most he had the most turnovers.
Let's talk about that, because a lot of what's been going on, you know, Spurs fans were excited that the team made a push out there in the fourth quarter, and they actually took the lead. And it looked like they might have a shot to win, but it was not to be. The Heat kind of pulled away at the very end on this with, you know, against the Spurs in this game here and won 120-117. But the way that the Spurs lost this game is because they couldn't hang on to the ball. They had 21 turnovers compared to the Heat, who just had 9, you know, and the points in the paint, the Spurs dominated the Heat 64-48. But at the end of the day, it boils down to turnovers. The Spurs still can't seem to take care of the ball. And when you're playing against a better team like the Heat, you're just giving them more fuel to their fire because you're going to give them opportunities to steal the game away from you when it becomes close, much as it did in the fourth quarter. Spurs couldn't hang on to the ball, again, making, silly mistakes, and it cost them. It kind of shows that they are getting better, because if this was last season, Jeff, they would have probably got blown out of the water. They were able to come back and make a game of it, but there's still things that they need to clean up. Don't you agree with their game?
Oh, of course. Look, it's still the preseason.
Yeah.
This is what it's for. To clear out this mess. And you're seeing little by little. Sochan spoke to it yesterday, saying the chemistry's coming along. Chris Paul talked about it, saying they still need to figure out chemistry. And by the way, there's been a common word used throughout the preseason with Popovich. I don't know if you caught it yet. Physicality. Almost every single game this preseason, he's saying the Spurs are not physical. We're being out physical. Where's the physicality? We didn't have physicality in the first half, but now we had it in the second half. You see there's something there. So I think the Spurs needs to just get mean out there. Just to, throw the weight around. Wemby, do it. Sochan, I think he's going to do it. Collins, for sure he can do it. Keldon definitely does it. But I think this team just needs to just iron out the kinks. Then there's going to be another adjustment period, Jimenez, when Devin comes back. So we have to get used to that. So, look, get all this crap out of the way in the preseason. Go to the regular season as best you can. Well, how many games? We only have 2 more preseason games left, and that's it.
One more
against
the
one more Rockets, right?
Rockets, yeah. You
One more, and then in the Showtime.
You mentioned Keldon Johnson's name. He's quietly having himself a pretty good preseason. He's quietly just knocking down shots and just quietly, reminding us Spurs fans that he's still on the team.
You know what? We talked. We're going to talk about this on today's Lockdown Spurs. We put in the spotlight Keldon Johnson and talking about his preseason play, and the conversation came up where could Keldon arguably make a push to be the Spurs' current second best player, the way he's playing?
15 points last night on 6 of 10 shooting, made 3 of 4 free throw attempts, had 5 rebounds. He's a smaller guy now, man. He lost weight, has been doing all that boxing and stuff. He's a different type of player, but Keldon is just hanging out there, giving you the 14 to 15 points per game. He's the most consistent Spur out there, and we don't give him credit for that. And he has done nothing wrong.
Nope.
He is a good player. He's on a good contract, but Spurs fans tend to bag on him and want to get rid of him. I understand that he has a tradable contract, but Keldon is just out there just plugging away, the most consistent thing you'll see out there. Chris Paul yesterday was surprised that he's out there playing 25 minutes in a preseason game.
Exactly.
I got a question for you, Jeff. It came in through the chat, and I want to get it off my face because you can't see my lovely face because I got the question up here by our good friend Sith Lord Elias. He says he wants to ask you, Jeff, if you've heard the fans react negatively to Barnes. Were there any boos for him last night? And that's the thing. You've probably heard it too in the arena. Some of the fans like to boo him.
No, nothing like that. Though I've seen Spurs fans push back on Branham.
Yeah.
That I've seen that lately. But then again, look at Branham's numbers in the preseason, and it's not bad. But he's getting points up there. But my goodness, shooting is just bad.
Yeah, Branham at least was 5 for 10 yesterday, 15 points. It was 1 of 5 from 3. Branham believes that he's wide open every time he touches the ball. He has a green light mentality when it comes to it. It's that irrational confidence.
And who knows? Maybe that's from Popovich too. The coaching staff saying, "Hey, if you got a shot, take it."
Trey Jones had a decent game yesterday as well. Blake Wesley a little bit off. We didn't see a lot of Stephon Castle. Castle missed all 4 3-point attempts yesterday.
Hey, by the way, did you hear what Castle told me the last home preseason game?
No, what's up?
That the game is already slowing down for him.
Oh, nice.
Yeah. That's good.
That's a good thing to hear. Hey, talking to Jeff Garcia from Locked On Spurs and Ken's 5. Today, ESPN released its top 50 players of the NBA for the upcoming season. And Victor Wembanyama made the list, my man. I'm looking at the list. So number 50, by the way, just kind of going from it, starts with LaMelo Ball, right? Then it goes to Aaron Gordon, Julius Randle, Evan Mobley. We see DeMar DeRozan, former Spur, at number 45 for the Kings. Jalen Williams of Oklahoma City at 44. DeJounte, former Spur, at 43. And as we go further and further down the list, I'm already at the top 40, and Wemby's not named. Wemby, as one of the top 50 players in the NBA, where would you rank him right now, Jeff Garcia?
Ooh, top 25.
Okay, Derek White is 39, another former Spur. Right, so keep going down, Chet Holmgren at number 32. Right, he was the second place in the runner-up when it came to Rookie of the Year last year. Keep going down. We're down to the top 25. Top 25 is Kyrie Irving. We still don't see Wemby. 22, Kawhi Leonard. We still don't see Wemby. Paul George at 21. John Morant at 20. They have him listed above John Morant, above Tyrese Maxey, above Bam Adebayo, above Donovan Mitchell, above Tyrese Halliburton, above Devin Booker. Now we're in the top 15. They have Wemby above Jaylen Brown, who's the highest paid player in the NBA. Above Anthony Davis, above Jalen Brunson, and at number 11, they have Victor Wembanyama ranked. He was ranked number 47 going into last season. They have Wemby just outside a top 10 player in the NBA, according to ESPN.com. And it says, quote, with a year of experience under his belt, the number one pick from 2023 is coming for number one on the list. He was the unanimous Rookie of the Year. He's comparable to David Robinson and Tim Duncan. And it's basically saying that he'll have some more opportunities to improve because of Chris Paul. Wemby ranked number 11 in the NBA right now, according to ESPN. Jeff, too high, too low?
Just about right. I think so. I think just about right. We saw what he just did in his rookie season. That's just his rookie season.
Right.
So now imagine him, as the article mentioned, with CP3, Barnes. He added some size to his frame. You saw him being a little bit more vocal with Harrison Barnes when they missed him on the lob. He put all that together, and I think he could potentially be perhaps ranked higher as the season goes on if they revisit that list.
Now, ESPN will later on this week release the top 10. Some names that we didn't see were like Luka Doncic and Nikola Jokic and Giannis. So they're basically saying that he's tier 2 in the NBA right now. But if you're the 11th best player in the NBA, that basically means that they project you to be a second or third team all NBA player this upcoming year. Now, I saw on your Twitter account on Locked On Spurs and Cans5.com that Wemby is featured on Sports Illustrated. What's going on with that?
Oh, he just got the cover boy. He's the cover boy for Sports Illustrated, and you get to deep dive into what his likes, dislikes, on and off the court. Obviously, for me, he's a nerd just like me, so he lists his top favorite Star Wars characters. But then, he also goes into how he was a little set back to see how some of the top players didn't take their craft seriously, and that kind of blew his mind. He still gave praises to Kevin Durant, and then he just talked about becoming better, just as he always does. So it's a good article over there at Sports Illustrated. And then I think have you even touched on Wemby suing a fan yet?
Yeah, that's what the fans are wanting to know, and we've been getting comments about that. Somebody was saying, "Is Wemby?" Mario Cavasso says, "Is Wemby going to be suing Bear County Social Apparel?" I'm like, "Oh my goodness, man!" But Tony Hernandez was saying he wants to talk about the Wemby lawsuit for El Wemby Apparel.
Well, that guy was just asking for it. If you read the lawsuit, Wemby gave him multiple chances. So Wemby gave him about three or four notices, like stop it. Okay. And according to the lawsuit, the person ignored it over and over again. And then you look at some of the product too. It was pretty blatant though. I mean, it's Wemby in a Spurs jersey, number one, and his likeness. There was not even hiding it, not even to distort his face. then you use the word Wemby on it that's similar to that, but
El Wemby,
I think this is kind of a warning sign to fans out there because everybody wants to be a t-shirt.
They want a piece of Wemby, make some money off of Wemby's name. And I think he's coming for the fans. So that means they're going to be coming after the guys on Marbach, set up on Marbach. He already saw a stand on Saturday, on military.
You remember a while back the Spurs and the NFL actually did that? Like they went after those little tents on the corners.
Yeah, I remember that.
Yeah, they were, but that was even worse than what this guy did. They were putting labels on there with the hologram that were fake holograms.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It was like NFL brand, and it was a fake hologram.
Yeah, they were putting that on the Selena shirts, you know.
Yeah.
Hey,
Oh
but
yeah, I remember that. Yeah,
remember, I mean, but come on, man. That's where a lot of the diehard, the raza, would get their Spurs shirts, and they had some really nice shirts. They had some really nice, unique apparel, let's say accessories as well, like necklaces, and they had the flags. Remember all the unique Spurs
Yep.
flags up and down Military Drive?
oh yeah. Do you remember? I mean, look, just during the Big Three era, it was Spider, Tony Parker, man, something like that.
Oh yeah, Manu. Remember Manu? Obi-Wan Ginobili?
Yeah, Mobley. They used to put Tim Duncan's face like half human, half cyborg.
Yeah.
So
Yeah. Well, we got to leave the Southsiders alone, man.
That was good. No, it was good stuff. I
I
loved
love.
it,
I
dude.
love. No, what I'm saying is the Spurs need to leave them
Yeah.
alone.
Me and my daughter would get shirts because my daughter and me, we're right here, stone's throw away from Marbach Road. We could walk there basically, and we would just go out, doing errands or what have you. And during the heyday when the Spurs were in the finals and all that kind of stuff, my daughter wanted to get a matching shirt for me and her. So what did I do?
Yeah.
Pull into one of the roadside stands there, and we kind of looked around. We parked right here at the Wells Fargo Bank because there was tents set up all over the place. So we just parked there and kind of walked up and down Marbach Road, and we're just looking at all the stands. It was almost like a flea market, You just go and browse and see which ones you want. So we found some shirts, and we took them home and we were wearing them. But it was cool, I wish they would bring that back. I was happy to see the one lone stand here on Marbach Road the other day on the weekend. I'm like, look at that, man. Gives me a little tear in my eye. I want that to come back, but it won't happen until the Spurs get back to that winning culture again and go into the playoffs. Can you imagine, Jeff, once the Spurs go to that, play-in game again, or they have a playoff game, the stands are going to just be coming all over the place. They're going to be coming out of the woodwork, man.
yeah, exactly. And going back to that Wemby lawsuit,
Yeah.
it's just a warning shot towards anybody who thinks they're gonna dip into those that kind of stuff, because you gotta be careful. Look at Fred's Fish Fry. What did they do? They sued fans.
Yeah.
Over something they could have easily solved. There was like a couple other lawsuits recently, I think, and that's just the era we're in. Everybody wants buy my t-shirts, and then the competition comes in, and you buying it from him, you're going to buy it from this company.
Yeah.
So it just gets spun out of control, and now it's come to this. But the lawsuit is interesting if you read it. Exactly what Wemby is seeking. I mean, he's throwing the book at this guy.
Well, he gave him chances, like you said, Jeff. And not only that, but the URL, like the website, it was called Wemby's World, and he tried to was it trademark the phrase El Wemby?
Yeah, then he ignored the decision from the Federal Trademark Commission.
Yeah.
And he went ahead and did it anyway.
Yeah.
Yeah, and
didn't care.
is it? And I think isn't the scuttlebutt among fans like this guy was not a good person, something like that? Like,
Oh, I don't know, because I'm not gonna throw names out there. But
No,
there
I'm
was
not
a lot. Look, I'm gonna be honest. I'm not throwing names out there, but there were some fans that always want to be in the limelight. The super fans out there, and they were putting on his wares. They were putting on the shirt, and they were like, "Go and support and do this and that." And now crickets because of the lawsuit. I'm like, I remember. I got the receipts. I still got the screenshots of you wearing and peddling those wares. So come on.
I know. So, like Joe, like you make stuff, but you don't make it blatant. I know that you make it very.
I'm not selling it.
Like
Like
you're not selling it.
Yeah.
Too, yeah.
We have a $5 super chat coming in from the Drew Show. Says, this is why you people in San Antonio don't have nothing nice. Defending t-shirt bootleggers. Yeah, throw Wemby under the bus. If you get caught, don't cry.
Well, that's the thing, is that, I think the Spurs are lenient with a lot of these fans who go out and sell shirts and whatnot. They haven't really cracked down on them. And, but at the end of the day, Wemby has a national, not national, but a worldwide audience. So I think as he starts to get more savvy with surrounding himself with the right people, they're going to kind of start cracking down on that.
But Joe, where does it end though? Can he now go sue the taco spot on San Pedro that put his picture on there, him eating a taco. Isn't that kind of associating
Yeah.
Wemby with that taco place?
What about what is it? They had a hot dog or something named after him. What is it? El Buenecero or something like that?
What about the 210 Southtown that has a big
Yeah.
Wemby mural attached to their restaurant? Are they going to have
That's
to
the
take it off?
thing.
Like when does it end?
Well, I think part of it is if it's being directed towards the actual sale of the product. Like I think
You're using Wemby's like this on a restaurant's wall for fans to go out there and see the mural, and then they go to buy your product.
I think that falls in line with freedom of speech. That's an artistic.
No,
you can't sue for art.
but my point is, when does it end? Like, would you? I would not be surprised if I'm making this up. If and I'll just use you, Jimenez. You know, like you put a Wemby's face on your car and say like, "Hi, I'm the top, financial advisor you need," and have a picture of Wemby with thumbs up. Can't you say, "Oh, that's art"? Where does it end?
I think the direct
Oh,
correlation
man.
to the sale.
Look
I
at
think
this.
is what it is.
The Bear County Social Apparel saying they really are cracking down. They are. He goes, I've been given a cease and desist from the Spurs. Laugh out loud.
Crazy.
Yeah.
Talking to Jeff.
But that's stemming from the. Oh wait, no, because that's right. Bear had two, right?
Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah, Bear had two. Spurs, and then from French Fish.
Talking to Jeff Garcia from Locked On Spurs and Ken's 5. Spurs season gets going 1 week from tomorrow. They've got one more preseason game against the Rockets. Spurs open the season against the Dallas Mavericks on the road, have back-to-back home games against the Houston Rockets, then go on the road to take on the Oklahoma City Thunder. There's going to be some cuts, Jeff, at some point.
They're asking him already. They're asking Jeff.
That was a great question. Who was asking that question? Is there a surprise name that might make this roster, or is it just kind of is what it is?
So let me ask. Let me pose this question to you because one of our listeners wants to ask a question, Jeff. They're asking you. Tavares is asking you, Jeff, who makes the roster, and they're saying the team the team might have to cut Mama or Bassi.
I think they're probably going to see a lot of finagling, like IR, like, oh, darn it, Bassi got hurt again. Oh, well, maybe something like that. Look, the Spurs recently waived Isaiah Miller, so he's gone. I wouldn't be surprised if Minix is next, and then they waived him. What are you doing, stupid Spurs? And he's going to Austin. That could happen. A guy, he's one of the guys I think he can sneak in and get some legit minutes the way he's playing. Malachi Flynn is another guy on the bubble. He hasn't really been playing at all during the preseason. So if the writing's on the wall for him, he could be next. Boston Jr., he's another guy they can let go. So there's guys that they can waive to make the final regular season roster. So I have no doubts that they're gonna go that route. So your suspects are Boston Jr., Malachi Flynn, Minix, and already let go Isaiah Miller. So that leaves three guys there. So how many's with that?
Who's most in danger, Blake Wesley or Malachi Branham? Which of the first rounders from a few years ago are most in danger?
How are you, Branham? I think Branham.
Interesting.
The inconsistency and defensive issues. At least Wesley will hustle on defense. At least there's that. And he's been making strides in the preseason. He's looking a lot better than what he did. And as a matter of fact, I asked him that. He joined Locked On Spurs a few weeks ago. And I asked him, I said, hey, so what do you think about this clog at the guard spot? I didn't say point guard, I just said guard spot. And he just told me that he acknowledges it, that all he can do is just play his game. But if that's all he can do, then he's really showing out.
Yeah, we have another $5 super chat from Drew Show saying that if Wemby gets in the restaurant business, you better believe they'll crack down. That's how trademarks work. I agree to that sense, but putting a mural on the wall of Selena, of George Strait, of whatever, that's protected. That is protected by First Amendment rights of expression, of artistic freedom. There is a fine line, and you were talking about what is the fine line. There's you can honor somebody with artwork, but it's whether you say that artwork is going to then translate into them saying that
Oh, but see-
that they support or endorse the establishment. That's where the problem is. That if you figure
Okay,
that it's an endorsement,
did Wemby endorse that clothing line? He did not.
no.
So use his likeness in the merchandise. Okay, same argument. Did Wemby endorse Rudy's Seafood place on the South Side to put his picture on there? Where
No,
people can go?
if you put Wemby's likeness on the food, then you'd have an argument like the clothing, right? But art is art.
Okay, so then, like Joe said, what about the Wemby hot dog? They put the name on the hot dog.
Yeah, on the Buenasero.
Yeah.
I don't think that that's an issue. I don't think they can go after that.
I'm not trying to argue with you. I'm just trying to show you just how fine line it is.
I think when you're trying to sell the likeness, you get in trouble.
Yeah. Well, you know what? They can't get me for making the silver and black chain. I'm gonna be wearing this when I go to the opening night game.
Nice.
And be wearing that. I made a little medallion too, you know. Hey, but I can sell this because it's the silver and black. It doesn't have any Spurs logo. There's no player likeness on it or nothing like that.
Right.
Maybe we could get Jeff.
It could
to
be
wear
the
one.
Raiders for all we know.
Yeah, we could get Jeff to wear one of these.
It could be Clark High School for all we know. By the way, I need you guys to nerd out. Jeff, tell me about what happened over at the Comic-Con over the weekend.
Oh man, it was an experience I will never forget. This one was probably one of the most memorable Comic-Cons I had since I've been hosting it for 3 years now. I'll give you a little behind the scenes look. I never thought I'd be having lunch with Sophia Boutella and Charlie Hunnam of Sons of Anarchy.
Nice.
I never thought sitting next to me and another day for lunch will be Sean Astin, Rudy himself, and Samwise Gamgee from Lord of the Rings, literally shoulder to shoulder with me as he's doing business on his cell phone. I took a lot of pictures on stage, even the guy from San Antonio, Emilio Rivera, who's in Mayans MC, he even did a drop for Locked On Spurs. So it was just so much fun. And by the way, I don't know if this is the bucket list thing, but if it wasn't on my bucket list, I added it last second. I had a chance to sing a Blues Clues song with all three Blues Clues hosts, and I was not going to pass that up. The Big Texans might have video of me on the stage with them, because what happened was the original two, the first and the second host,
Steve Burns.
they had Steve Burns and Donovan. They had a little bit more rapport, a little bit more chemistry than the third guy, Josh. Not to say they didn't include him, they did, but there was just a little bit more connection with the host one and host two. So during the panel, a fan asked them if they can sing a song, for their kids, and they did. And then they started, they were like kind of swaying back and forth. And then the third host kind of felt left out. So then I jump on the couch with them. I go, "Come on, Josh, let's do our own song." So then all of us started singing the song. So I'm on mic, and I have no idea what the lyrics are.
Nice.
They do.
Blues Clues.
I don't know what it was. And I'm on mic just mumbling, "I don't know what I'm doing here. I don't know what's going on here." But I mean, it was just memorable. I got to hang out with Ron Perlman. And guess what? We talked about Dragon Ball Z. I'm not kidding. I am not kidding. This was like one of the most memorable ones. The lines were out of control long. They stretched out of the Henry B. Gonzalez into the streets. I think this was a world record one. Well, at least for them.
Right.
So all in all, it was good. It was really good. A lot of people showed up. Joe, shout out you. You showed up for one of the days to check out me at the panels.
I was there at the panel room for 4 hours with you, brother.
Yeah, which is you did when. Oh, and by the way, everybody, I gave Joe a chance to talk with the fam during between panels. But it was really, really great. So thanks, Joe. I appreciate that, and the friends that you brought with you. And other Spurs fans showed up. They saw me on the vendor floor. Stop by, say hello. But no, it was surreal. I got to sit with the Goonies actors, Joe Pantoliano and Carrie Green. You have to pinch yourself sometimes. Like, what's going on here?
They even had the original cast, remember, from the old school Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles? They had them there as well, Jeff.
Yeah. Joe, you were there. That guy who played Leonardo, man, he's hyper.
Yeah,
hyper. Holy smokes, he's just hyper. He's also from Ridge of the Nerds and Pace Academy.
He was dancing, dude. When I went to the vendor floor and all that. And I was just walking around, right? and they show, where you're going into the celebrity area, they have, the people there just signing autographs and whatnot. But you could hear them playing that music, go ninja, go, the Vanilla Ice song, remember, from the Turtles movie. And some of those guys, man, they're getting after it, bro. Like, I
Well,
was like, man, they're getting into it.
the guy that played Raphael released or revealed a big Easter egg, that the infamous scene with him and Casey Jones, where he goes like, "Oh, you is that a Jose Canseco bat?
Yeah.
Yeah, and you didn't pay a lot of money for it." It was actually not going to be a Jose Canseco's name that got dropped. It was going to be a different baseball player's name, and at the last minute they switched it because Jose Canseco was, doing what he did, pre-steroid debacle. They used his name instead, but it was going to be a different baseball player. They used what else did we learn? Yeah, the question opening night was crazy with the Cobra Kai panel.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was just so much fun. The my final question went viral, like across platforms, like from nerd websites to even like major entertainment outlet.
Yeah.
The final question I asked him was, and I just threw it in there. I just said, and I'm looking at Ralph Macchio, and I said, "Hey, Ralph," I said, "Hey," and I'm looking at him. I said, "Hey, so what can you tell us about Karate Kid Legend?" I was told that everybody that was exiting already hit the brakes and came back in because he confirmed in San Antonio that yes, there's going to be a new Karate Kid movie coming out.
Nice. I heard that. Which reminds me, Jeff, I think this next time you need to have somebody or hire somebody to like record these things so you can release your own content, because I think you should be in charge of, portraying how like the little clips of what you did up there and how you
Yeah.
want them to circulate across social media, because Jeff Garcia is a brand, honestly.
Yeah. Well, I mean, and that's a good idea. And I think I'm getting ready for the San Antonio's Winter Comic Con,
Yeah.
which is called Awacon. That one's up next. But that one I would understand if people, would be like, "What's going on here?" Because this
Uber nerd.
Winter Comic Con, there's me and Joe and Pleasure, and then there's God like levels that I haven't reached yet.
Yeah.
And these people are hardcore.
Yeah.
There's some times, Joe, where they'll tell me like the cosplay. I'm like, "What is that?" And they go, "Oh, I'm so and so from such and such, and then page 5 and number 3, this character showed up." I mean, they're hard.
Yeah, they know everything, man. But
know
we do
everything.
have Space Con coming up there, and that one's gonna have, if you're a Star Wars fan, the great Ewan
yeah.
McGregor, Hayden
Yep.
Christensen. I mean,
Wow.
Obi-Wan and Anakin, bro.
Oh yeah.
I already put my name in the hat for the credentials, man. So we'll see how it pans out. But if not, I'm probably gonna wind up buying my ticket just to go and check it out, dude, because they do have some great panels, happening on Friday, Saturday. I think they have the Hayden Christensen panel happens like at 8 o'clock, and then the next day on Sunday is when they have the great Ewan McGregor talking. So I mean, those are kind of worth the price of admission to me,
I'm surprised they're not gonna have them together in one panel.
Yeah, I don't know why they did put them together. Maybe it was scheduling, because maybe Hayden Christian has to leave right after he's done signing, and Ewan McGregor staying, So I'm sure it had to do with scheduling. But yeah, it would have been great to see them up there on the stage together.
Yeah, another memory I have is usually I talk to the actors about 5 to 10 minutes before I bring them on stage. And with the Mayans MC panel, that was with Emilio Rivera from San Antonio, and then JD Pardo and Michael Irby. It was like we had instant chemistry. It was the most bizarre experience I had with actors or in the entertainment, where it's as if we all knew each other. And then it translated onto the stage, and we were just laughing and talking. I brought up about how competitive to get with golf. You had people in the stand say, like, "Man, it felt like you were part of the Mayans MC too." So that was a really good experience. I took tons of pictures, man. A lot of behind the scenes stuff that I'll treasure forever. But looking forward to Comic-Con. That's next, and can't wait for Big Texas, the next one.
Jeff, I feared for the cast of Cobra Kai when I bumped into them. They were about a block away from the wrong side of downtown. I wanted to point at them, go towards the right, go towards downtown, because they were getting closer and closer to the hood. bumping into
What were
them.
they doing? What were they doing in Houston?
No, they were on East Houston Street in San Antonio.
Oh, East Houston Street. I thought you said they were in Houston.
No. So like if they had gone to the left one block, they would have been in Travis Park. Okay.
Yeah, bad idea.
I was like, bad idea. Hook a right, go towards the Alamo, go back towards Civilization. But a couple of fans spotted them. They posed for photos out there. I was buzzed in the back of my friend's SUV. Look over to the right. I'm like, man, that guy looks like that guy from Cobra Kai. And then I saw Peyton List, and I was like, oh, wait a minute, this is the whole crew. And then I saw Zapka and Machio. It was like 8 of them all just walking together, no guards, no nothing, just walking the streets of San Antonio, East Houston Street. If you remember where the Ticket was back in the day, that one bar back in the day,
yeah, right there.
they were in that area.
It's all right. That area's all right.
Yeah, it's getting kind of sketch though.
Nah, man, it's all right. That's where you can go to the Walgreens and just walk around the streets of downtown.
Yeah,
go in there and get a 6-pack, put it in a little bag, walk it around.
It was too dark for Netflix stars.
I hosted the costume contest, and there was a guy or somebody in a massive outfit, right? And they had a hard time getting up the stairs. And the cosplayer, these pieces that he had on or she had on were heavy and very immobile. So then I'm trying to help the person up, and I hear footsteps like boom, 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 coming down the stage. And I look, it's one of the actors from Sons of Anarchy, Theo Rossi. He was Shades in Luke Cage. And he's in the DC series right now, The Penguin. He plays like one of the Arkham doctors. And I looked, and it's him, and then he's trying to help the guy or person get up the stairs. So then afterwards, I asked him, like, what are you still doing here? His panel was the day before. He goes, my son, he wanted to join the costume contest. And then he kept on telling me, but no favoritism. That's all he said. He goes, if he wins it, he wins it. So,
hey, you know what, Jeff? We have breaking news here.
What's up?
They're saying Mario Cavazos says that Mike Jimenez will be the host of the CocoCon. Oh, man. CocoCon.
I wasn't telling you, Joe, but I thought all the panels went there. I mean, you were there in the audience with me for Saturday night, right? You did Saturday with me?
Yeah, I did Saturday.
Yeah. I think all the panels went well. I did not host the Lord of the Rings one.
Yeah, man. That one hosted itself, dude, honestly. Elijah Wood and I forgot the name of the other guy. They did great, dude. They were just basically talking with the fans, Yeah,
Sean Astin, yeah. But here's another behind the scenes peek. And I did set one of them aside for you, Joe. Okay. When the actors left for the day on Sunday, Joe Pantoliano, the guy who that was in Goonies, one of the Fratelli brothers. Him. He left a bunch of his photographs, like his headshots, not headshots, like professional, but like scenes, like when you go to when you get an autograph, they have
little posters and stuff. Yeah, photos.
He left a bunch of them on his desk, and I took them. I took them, so I have some Goonies merch for you, Joe.
Nice, thanks, Jeff. Appreciate it, man. Hey, did you get that hologram that I was showing you? That Tim Duncan one that turns to Tim, Manu, and then
no, I didn't. Not because I didn't like it, but because Ken's is gonna change up the nerd wall.
I gotta get you one though. I can get you one from my boy Amir. He's the one that makes them, and I got his contact info. I'll probably get you one so you can have it for your personal collection.
By the way, Joe, thank you for showing out and showing me support, unlike somebody else next to you right now. Thank you so much for that. Nice. Appreciate that, Joe. Yeah. Did Jimenez? Oh, no, I guess Jimenez didn't want to show support.
Yeah, he didn't go. But he probably would have showed up for 15 minutes and said hi and left. I stayed there for the long haul, man.
Dude, I would have gone just to see Peyton List.
Cochino Mike. You're going to be hosting the Cochino Con.
For history purposes, personal history, the first actor I spoke with at the event was Peyton List. She was the person I spoke to.
She's a really good actress. I really do enjoy her.
Yeah, and then it was really good to see, and it's not, you get a lot of life lessons from the panels. Like for example, the Sons of Anarchy, they talked about representing Hispanics, and the lead JD Pardo was just stressing, like how important it is, that the people of our color get out there. So you get a lot of that. By the way, shout out to the con too. They really showed Emilio Rivera, who grew up on the west side near you, Joe.
Yeah.
Um, love. They had him cut the ribbon to open up Big Texas Con. They gave a declaration or something like that. Some councilman gave a declaration, piece of paper, honoring him, and then he talked about that during his panel. And he was sitting next to me, and he's like, "I always want to shout out the love I've gotten to come back home." Unfortunately, though, he's not a Spurs fan. Though he revealed that.
No. Maybe we
He's
can
a
convert.
Lakers. He's a Lakers.
He's a Lakers fan. No, but I did.
Joe,
But he did say he'll cheer for the Spurs if they're not playing against the Lakers.
Yeah. You know, one thing that I did see out there, Jeff, and it gave me a lot of inspiration talking with a lot of these vendors and seeing, from an engineering standpoint, I saw how they make a lot of the stuff that they sell out there. I'm not trying to get in the convention business and go out there and sell stuff. But now that I kind of know how to do these things, what I'm thinking of doing, and not thinking, but I know I'm going to do this, because I always buy myself 1 or 2 Christmas gifts, Yeah. So what I'm going to wind up getting is I'm wind up buying something, which I'll tell you off air here, but we're going to be able to customize the stuff that we give out on the show now. So if a viewer wins something, right, we're going to be able to customize it just for them instead of just getting something off the shelf and just, sending it off to them. I'm going to be able to customize and make things here that we're going to be able to give away to the viewers here as a thank you to, for watching the show. So we can do these things on a weekly basis and make quality stuff that people want, but also customize it to suit their needs, So that's going to be pretty cool. And I'm also going to be making you some things as well. You can hang in, on the nerd wall that you're going to have to kind of put on another side of your home.
Yeah, I'm going to figure that out. Yeah, Kansas is changing everything up. I think they delayed it now. I was going to undergo changes Friday. They pushed it back for another week. But I got to figure out how to sneak in some nerd stuff. It's funny because I had a guest come on this past week, and I was like, "Hey, you're at this time. I'm thinking this is going to be the last week of the Nerd Wall." And I go, "Hey, you're part of the last week of the Nerd Wall." He goes, and he was so upset. He goes, that can't change. It's become iconic now. Like the Nerd Wall has become iconic among guests and Spurs fans. So, Joe, you got to tell me sneak ways to get around a green screen.
Oh man, the green screen can be, that's a beautiful thing though. Once you have the green screen, think of your next Los, or let's say we got something that we're working on too, right? And think of this. You could do your backdrop as being in the, a scene from Star Wars. You're on a Death Star, destroyer. You could do anything you want to. Once you have that green screen, you can make any background you want. And I can show you how easy it is to do that. But you'll have your mind blown like, I didn't know I could do all this stuff. So maybe we'll have Jeff Garcia like taking pictures for social media with like Ewan McGregor or Hayden Christensen or something. It'd be fun.
Yeah, exactly. But the cool thing about it, like the Big Texas, they did send me a bunch of files, forms, I'm sorry, not forms, photos.
Yeah.
My time on the stage, and I'm looking at them. I'm like, oh my god, did that just really happen to me? Like, am I on stage with Ron Perlman? Am I on stage with the voice actor of Anakin Skywalker?
Nice.
Yeah.
So it was pretty good. It was pretty good though. But again, Joe, thank you, appreciate that. Unlike Mike Jimenez, who didn't show up.
Maybe we could get him to show up for the next one because, like I said, I'm putting my
Did I get invited?
No.
Yes, you did. Yes, you did.
I did.
Yes, you did.
I don't know.
I didn't invite him. I had already bought my tickets ahead of time, and I already had my son going and one of my best friends, Jonas Clark, going, and I was going to meet my other boy out there, Daniel from Legacy of Nerd. So we already made plans, but Mike was busy. He was big timing us, man. He don't got time for us.
Oh man, is that true, Jimenez?
I always big time, dude. It just is what it is.
He's in Conroe. He don't like us no more.
I'm in Conroe.
Just move to Conroe already.
Oh my goodness.
He don't love us no more, Jeff. You know who did reach out to me? It was funny though on the weekend. Pledger.
Yeah.
I was like around 4 or something like that, or 5. And he's like, what you doing? I'm like, Pledge, I'm at the Comic-Con, man. I think he wanted to go hang out or something. I'd be like, I'm down to drink beers with you, Pledge, but I'm at the Comic-Con right now.
That's hilarious.
That is
But
Jeff. Jeff, what are you working on for Locked On Spurs?
Well, we got Lockdown Spurs dropping in the next 10, 20 minutes. So that we're going to put thinking hats on about Kelvin Johnson. Then they got another article coming up later today. Also, too, I'll be on Ken's 5. I'm going to be joining my colleague, Hannah Titty, with discussing the Wemby lawsuit. The Wemby lawsuit. So we're going to get the fan reaction. So Hannah and I are going to be doing a spot, not for Lockdown Spurs, not for Ken's 5 Digital, but for the newscast.
Nice.
So myself and Hannah will be doing that in just just later today. So I'm trying to get as best I can to get uncongested so I don't look stupid on camera, which I'm going to load up on medicine right now. I'm going to OD on it.
Yeah, you got to do what you got to do, man.
And Jimenez, you're in tomorrow for Lockdown Spurs, right? We're recording tomorrow.
I'm down, baby. I'm down.
Yeah, so Jimenez will be our guest. See, you're recording tomorrow, so you're going to be our guest on Friday. You'll close out the weekend.
Jeff, you won't believe what I'm doing right now, Jeff.
You would have been the last, if it had happened, you would have been the last guest that had the nerd ball.
No.
Oh, brutal, dude.
But now we got it delayed one more week. So the nerd wall survives for one more week.
Jeff Garcia, Locked On Spurs, Ken's 5. Don't forget to subscribe on YouTube, Spotify. Where else can we find you, man?
Yeah, Locked On Spurs, as you mentioned, YouTube, it's getting a lot of subscriptions lately. So I appreciate that. Kens5.com/Spurs. Seriously, subscribe to Locked On Spurs, man. We need it. I think the Locked On NBA Network is going to be launching a new NBA newsletter.
Nice.
So keep an eye on for that as well. Then, of course, Jimenez will be joining me tomorrow to record a show. Maybe we'll discuss Sohan. We'll see.
I liked what I saw yesterday.
All right. We'll talk about it, man. Thanks a lot, guys. Appreciate it.
Thank
All
you
right,
so
thanks,
much,
Jeff.
man. Joe, you know what I'm doing right now, Joe?
What are you doing? Looking at the Chevy Real girls?
Oh, dude, Tim Gonzalez mentioned that the Chevy Real girls, by the way, are doing a fantastic job these days.
Oh,
I don't know if
man.
you've seen the new latest and greatest with it. I got a message right now from the Association of Basketball Officials, Sanitary Basketball Officials Association, saying, Michael, you never registered to be an official this year. The season starts in 3 weeks. We need you to do this right now so that you can get your background check done. And I'm thinking about it, Joe. Do I want to officiate again this year? I've done it for 15 years. It's a little bit much. And I think I'm going to do it, Joe.
Think you're going to do it? That means you're not going to be spending as much time with your girl.
Well, okay. So I hang out with my girl on the weekends, dude.
Yeah.
And, she, it's one of those things. She comes over here once every other week. I go over there every other week. But it's just one of those things. I like to officiate. And right now, I just plugged in my credit card information. Boom. I'm back as being an official this year.
You're back.
I'm back, baby.
Yeah. You know what else we need to do? We need to go and give some love to
MCS.
MCS General Contracting, man. I am sporting their hat. MCS General Contracting, more than 30 years of combined experience in concrete placement. They are the best in the business. Honest pricing, high quality work. They get going on house foundations, driveways, concrete patio decks. If you want to extend the deck, extend the driveway. If you're a business and you need to put together a slab, a parking lot, or other concrete placement services or sidewalks, reach out to MCS General Contracting at 210-774-9155. They're confident in their skills, so give Chris Leha over at MCS General Contracting a call at 210-774-9155. And thank you for being a sponsor of this show.
That Diamond Hard Concrete, Joe.
Got to get that Diamond Hard Concrete in your life. And you know what? MCS General Contracting is what powers this show and the chat. The chat is brought to you by MCS General Contracting. And if you want things done right the first time, not done cheap, but done right the first time, with over 30 years of experience in the concrete business, go ahead and call my boy, Christopher Leha, at 210-774-9155 and set up your free consultation where you can come out and kind of explain what you want done and give you a price on the spot.
In NFL news, we have 3 trades to report. One of them from yesterday. We mentioned yesterday the breaking news that Devontae Adams was traded from the Raiders to the Jets. So the Jets apparently going, quote, all in, like Jerry Jones would say, but they're actually doing something. The Buffalo Bills landed Amari Cooper in a trade with the Cleveland Browns. The Browns,
ex-Cowboy.
Ex-Cowboy.
Yeah.
The Browns somehow got more years later for Amari Cooper than the Cowboys did. The Bills are sending 3 draft picks, a 3rd rounder, a 6th, and a 7th rounder for a
Wow.
30-year-old wide receiver. Again, Cooper is going to be their wide receiver 1, hopefully in the playoffs. Stephon Diggs went to the Houston Texans, and the Texans have Diggs, right? So the Bills making that move, trying to get it. There are rumors out there that the Detroit Lions are going to be making some moves as well. But speaking of the Texans also pulled a trade. They traded one of their running backs, Cam Akers. Joe Mixon's back from injury. They had Damian Pierce had a couple of good games there, so it made him Cam Akers expendable. They traded him for a conditional draft choice, a 6th rounder, and a potential 7th rounder as part of the deal. So at least the Texans get a little bit of draft capital when it's all said and done. We have the Major League Baseball playoffs going on. Judge hit a home run yesterday as the Yankees beat the Guardians 6-3. It was Judge's first home run of the postseason. Yankees now lead that series 2-0. Today, we have 1 game. Series tied at 1 apiece. You got the Dodgers taking on the Mets over at Citi Field in Queens. First pitch is at 7:08 on FS1. Joe, any of that baseball exciting you at all?
I like watching the baseball, man. I don't mind it at all. I'm always a fan of, playoff baseball during the month of October. I know a lot of fans are rooting for the Guardians, and we like poking fun and whatnot. But, I mean, it won't be long now. I mean, the Yankees are up on the Guardians 2-0. Beat them the other day, yesterday, 6-3. Mm-hmm. The Mets and Dodgers, I mean, I want the Dodgers to win, but the Mets, they finally bested the Dodgers yesterday.
Yeah.
Tied the series 1-1. It looks like we're headed towards New York versus New York.
Yeah.
At some point, so.
Yeah, a Subway Series.
Yeah.
That wouldn't be bad at all. Jerry Jones is getting ripped to shreds right now.
Jeez, man.
And what I like about it is, Joe, is that sometimes you hear something or you see something and you think to yourself, there's something wrong. And I like the fact that when I heard that interview yesterday, Joe, I thought, this is a big deal. No one told me it was a big deal. I heard it and I realized that it was a big deal. And to see all the ESPN types, whether it be First Take or Greeny and all of them, Colin Cowherd, all jump on top of it, just shows that we weren't being far-fetched when it came to Jerry Jones saying that he lost his mind yesterday. It's like everybody in the media turned around and said, what the hell are you doing?
Yeah, what's Jerry on, man? Jerry got in his feelings, man. And he got pissed because some radio show hosts were asking him some questions. And it wasn't like they were just coming at him sideways. They were asking him legitimate questions. And when you're wearing both hats as the GM and the owner, you got to answer these questions. You can't just come out on a show and sing, the Cowboys' praises after they win, and when everything's going good and everybody's talking about him in a good light, right?
Mm-hmm.
You can't just be there for that. You got to be there for the tough questions. And a lot of questions are, why didn't Jerry do something? And not only on him, but the organization as a whole, when they had the opportunity to do things in the offseason, when other teams were making moves, Jerry goes and lies to the Cowboy fan and says, we're all in. No, you were not, sir.
No, Jerry Jones believes that all news is good news, except when it's against him.
Yeah, when they held his feet to the fire, he started getting angry.
So yesterday, when he made a threat and he says, don't you laugh at me, I really can get you fired, is basically what he said to those talk show hosts who've been around forever, who have a top-rated show there in Dallas. Times have changed, Joe. He could have gone away with that crap in the 90s. He could have gotten away with that crap 10 years ago. But not anymore. Not anymore. Can he do that? Can he fire them? Yes, he can. But the blowback would be huge.
I mean, the thing is,
but does he care? Look at Elon Musk. The blowback of Twitter. Twitter has lost value by about 70% because Elon Musk bought it, and it's a cesspool ever since he took it over.
It was already like that. I mean, when he bought it, the value of the X or the Twitter platform was overinflated because a lot of the, let's say, subscribers that they have, mostly half of them were bots. So he was paying for something that wasn't real Then he comes in and tries to clean house and take out all the bots, and you can't take them all out. They're always going to be around. And he's trying to kind of shirt things up with the X platform. He's charging people to go live now. You can see that what he's doing is he's going to want to turn this into a money-making scheme at some point. So be prepared. If you use social media in any capacity, the years of using social media for free are going to go by the wayside. You're going to wind up paying for things in the future. Mark my words. YouTube, the X, Facebook, Instagram, they're going to have their paid platforms now. So if you want to go ahead and enjoy the experience you're enjoying now, at some point, you're going to wind up having to pay for it. And Elon's paving that way right now. That's why he brought the X platform, because he wants to go ahead and recoup his money. And he's going to look for a way to do that. He's not going to. Well, I'm saying he's going to look for ways to do that. But what he's doing is he's going to go ahead and usher in the era of people having to pay for social media.
The old model worked, the new model's not. I mean, the number of people who use Twitter on a daily basis has gone down by 23% in the past year since he's taken over. And the frequency by which the remaining 77% are going is less than before.
Yeah.
It's because it's a cesspool. It really is. And dude, the number of bots that are on there these days,
a lot.
People are like, oh, well, he's going there to clean the bots. It's worse now, man.
To me, it's still the same. I mean,
dude,
you can't get rid of bots.
I get spammed more and more every day.
You can't get rid of these bots. They're always going to be around. I mean, I don't see how they're going to be able to eliminate it entirely.
Joe, talk a little bit of entertainment news, man.
Yeah.
Did you see Saturday Night Live this past weekend?
I did not.
Ariana Grande was the host. Stevie Nicks was the musical guest. And Ariana Grande performed. I'm just going to show the photo, not the video of it all. But she did this whole spoof. I have some photos of Joe, where she did a parody of the show of the song Espresso by Sabrina Carpenter. It's the funniest sketch, dude. I don't know if you know that show, that song Espresso. It's all over the place. It's been all over the place like the last 3 or 4 months. And now this parody is getting just as popular as the original song, Joe. And the parody is about these bridesmaids revealing what they did during the bachelorette party and how the bride cheated on the groom. And then the groom shows up. So instead of saying espresso, it's about her dancing and hooking up with a guy named Domingo. So great, dude. So great. Tony O'Neill is asking the question, is Mike's new nugget Grande? Grande is pretty. She's pretty. She's kind of crazy. She likes taking dudes. You know, she's a home wrecker. Yeah, she's a nugget. I'll go for it. But I thought that was kind of funny. A lot of fans in the stands yesterday at the one of the baseball games, the Yankees game yesterday, were questioning whether or not Taylor Swift and Travis Kelce were engaged, because Taylor Swift gave him a hug and a kiss as she was blinking out with a ring on her left finger, but it was on the wrong finger. It looked like an engagement ring, Joe. It looked like Swifties were going crazy until people paused the video like the Zapruder film, JFK, murder, and they basically said, "Oh, wrong finger. Move on, Joe." Joe, what you got going on this weekend, man? I know it's just Wednesday, but you got plans?
Yeah, I got some plans, man. I'm just probably going to go ahead and start cleaning up the yard a little bit, doing some things around the house here, because we do have the bulky item pickup that's going to be coming up here on the 28th.
Yeah.
I already saw some of my neighbors out here putting stuff out there on the sidewalks and whatnot. It's nothing but junk, you know?
Yeah, my girlfriend has that this weekend.
Yeah, I got to take some stuff out of the house. It's old, dude.
Yeah, she's asking me to go help. So if I go all the way over there again,
can be put to work.
Gonna be put to work.
Yeah, it's time, man. The old pool that I have in the backyard, gonna break it down, cut it up, put it in the front, and have them take that. And I gotta take some things down in the backyard as well, some old posts and whatnot, and get those out of here. So yeah, we got some cleaning up to do, but it should be a good weekend for working outdoors out here because the temperatures are gonna be nice.
Yeah. Tony Analysis is asking the question. You guys met Vanessa Macias before she met and married Tim Duncan, right? Yeah.
I saw her a couple times. She was over at the Missions game. She was calling that.
I did one radio show with her.
And I did run into her before she knew Tim Duncan because she was at a Spurs game with her family once or twice. I remember seeing her walking up and down the stairs. She was like sitting right in front of me.
Yeah, I did a radio show with her and Anthony Pittman one time, and
Yeah.
Jay Tope. We did a show one morning for a couple of hours. She was really nice. She's always been nice to me whenever I've seen her. I've only met her maybe 3 or 4 times, but she's been nice every single time. So not sure where that question came from, but also Sam Salinas earlier was saying Grandma Becky, Mike Taylor's mother, passed away. I want to say my condolences to Mike Taylor and his family when it comes to all that. He says that she's in a better place. That apparently she had some sort of health issues. So I'm glad that they're finding some closure, but that's got to be very, very devastating.
It's tough losing parents, man. I mean, I keep thinking about that. I just took my mom on the weekend to go out for her birthday. My dad's birthday was before my mother's, and he had some surgeries as well this last week. So parents are getting up there in age. Kind of makes you think, like life is short and things like this are happening as you grow older. It starts taking things away from you, man. Life takes things away from you.
Joe, I just signed up for the San Antonio Basketball Officials Association. And if I had to ask you, Joe, how much am I getting paid for a game, Joe? What do you think it would be, Joe?
$40.
Okay.
$50.
So right now, the going rate right now for a middle school game is, if you include the gas that they pay you for gas, it's between $65 and $75 for the hour.
Okay.
It's $45 for the game to $55 for the game. They give you $20 on top of that. So if you do 2 games, it'd be like $120. If you're doing high school games, freshman JV, it's $65 a game plus the $20 gas. So if you do 2 games, $150. Not bad for 2.5 hours of work time and basically getting paid to run up and down the court.
Yeah.
And then varsity is going to be $80 a game plus the $20 fee. So basically $100 for a varsity game. Not bad for an hour and 15 of work, dude.
Yeah, not bad.
I'll do that.
You could do other things that wouldn't get you as much money.
Right. So if I do 3 nights a week, $450, $500, it's Christmas money, dude.
Yeah,
that's all it is.
Trip to Conroe. With the tire, with the blown tire.
With the blown tire. Exactly, baby. Exactly. Mario asking if the Halloween party is not happening. Am I working on the invitation? It's a little bit in the air, man, because my daughter is going to be coming to San Antonio and visiting me that weekend of Halloween. So I don't know if it's going to actually happen or not. Because of that.
Thing that we need to make happen is this celebrating our 1,000, passing the 1,000 on YouTube.
Yeah.
And what I was looking at, maybe that weekend of the 26th, Saturday, we could do that. There's a little business that I saw here, local. It's kind of near the downtown area, so it's centralized, right? It's called Smashed.
Yeah.
And it's a sports bar. And I was looking at that. It's kind of a small place, not too big, but either way, it looks like a cool little spot. Maybe we can hang out there and do our thing.
Yeah, let's make it happen, dude. Just tell me what weekend.
Yeah, I think that weekend of the 26th. I don't know. You're going to be free that weekend.
I actually will be.
So that's on the 26th would be Saturday. So maybe we should just push it for that day.
Let's make it so.
Yeah, maybe you can talk with the people if you have time.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Let's do it. I got to get back to work. Oh, by the way, everybody, here's my number, 210-508-0369.
Let's put it up there.
I now manage $15.7 million worth of retirement assets, Joe. It was 0 3 years ago. I was in management for so long in financial services. I didn't start my practice until I restarted my practice back during COVID. 3 years later, I now manage $15.7 million worth of assets that are retirement related. These are IRAs. These are mutual funds and things like that, annuities and whatnot. Yesterday, I also sold a life insurance policy.
Nice.
So everything from life insurance to disability, long-term care, annuities, retirement accounts. For even those who are self-employed don't realize that they can have their own retirement account as well. So if you have any needs or assistance when it comes to your retirement planning or investments in general, 210-508-0369. Right now is also open enrollment for a lot of companies when it comes to benefits. Control your benefits, man. If your employer is giving you life insurance for a very cheap price, do it, right? But get yours on the outside, because if you rely on your employer for your benefits, health insurance I get, but like life insurance, stuff like that, if you rely solely on them, the second that they leave you or you leave them, you change to another job or they lay you off, those benefits cease. They go away. So again, reach out to me, 210-508-0369, 210-508-0369. Thank you to Jeff Garcia from Locked On Spurs and Ken's 5. Don't forget to subscribe to him at Jeff G Spurs Zone for your daily Spurs content. Again, Jeremy Sochan had himself a game yesterday. Was super excited to see him play as well as he did yesterday. And people were coming out and saying that 2 tacos is not enough to go to Rolando's Super Taco. I know what Rolando's is. That's on Hildebrand.
Just need the one.
Yeah. No, you need half. I think you, me, and Jeff can feast off of one Rolando Super
It's
Taco.
the size of the plate.
That is too big, man. It's the size of my face.
Yeah.
Everyone have a fantastic day. Got to head into work. See you guys mañana.
Later, boys.